we finally have an update on if the Olympics are going to have hockey this year. What's up, motherfuckers, and welcome to this week's episode of Pucked Up. My name is Maul, and I am your host today, joined, as always, by the wonderful Dee and Christopher.
I'll do the interpretive dance that you always do.
Dude, you're stealing my friggin' dance, man. What the hell?
All creative thoughts have already been done. Everything's stolen. I don't know. What are we doing?
Simpsons did it.
Simpsons did it first in 86.
Anyway, welcome to this week's episode. We have a lot to talk about. But first, Chris, what do you have for our trivia question of the week?
So, scrolling through my very large, vast, what is essentially a library of useless hockey knowledge.
His brain. He means
Wikipedia.
His brain.
Not honestly, not even Wikipedia. We're gonna go with this one. Which goaltender holds the record for most career shutouts in NHL history?
Mm.
And I'll give you multiple choice because we have that.
In their career.
In the entire most career shutouts in the NHL.
Okay.
So not when they went over to play in Sweden.
Yeah.
Or, whatever.
Okay. All
so
right, cool.
You have four options.
That's gonna help me, but
A. Patrick Waugh. B. Dominic Hasek. C. Martin Brodeur. And D. Ed Belfour.
Oh, some good choices.
So if you want to hear the end, if you want to hear the answer, make sure you stick around to the end. And
I know. I'm curious.
I'm curious to hear the answer too, because I don't think I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, me either.
Confidence real low.
Yeah. It's like I'm at like a 2. like like the old saying, when in doubt, go with C. I think that's gonna be the play this week.
You know what? Fair. Brodeur, not a bad shout.
The
you got a
problem is
25% chance of winning.
With this one, all four of these, it's like, no, but these are four of the best goalies ever. So,
yeah.
And I mean, on my methodology, it got me through college. So, on that note, Dee, what do you have for us with PWHL updates?
We have a ton of updates here in the PWHL. First, I want to start off with the mention of the IIHF Hall of Fame inductees for 2026. They were announced this week. And so there are 2 from the PWHL. We have Cassie Campbell-Pascal, a PWHL special advisor, as well as Florence Schelling, the co-host of the new Jocks Next Gen podcast. There are 7 total members, so we're going to talk about all of them later. But just wanted to give that a little bit of foreshadowing here to highlight that they are active within the PWHL network, so they get a shout out in our section for the PWHL. Next up, we have the fact that there is a new member of the PWHL named Sandy Cross, who is the Vice President of People and Culture. She was recently appointed to that role, the newly created role, which will be responsible for leading the PWHL's holistic people and culture strategy in support of the league's commitment to championing equity and excellence in professional women's hockey. She will leverage the PWHL's single entity ownership structure, and she will develop best-in-class strategies that impact both athletes and staff on and off the ice. It will span hockey operations and business operations, fostering a unified culture of excellence for the rapidly growing league and its 8 teams. Soon to be fucking 100, by the way they do it, their expansions.
They're expanding MLS speeds.
Yeah, they really, really are. So she has 30 years of sports industry experience, 3 decades with the PGA of America, where she held leadership roles across the organization. Her tenure culminated in 7 years as Chief People Officer, during which she guided the PGA through a headquarters relocation and the pandemic. She was also with the Senior Director of Inclusion and Diversity and the Director of Women's and New Market Initiatives at the PGA as well. So very excited to have her on. Can't wait to see what Sandy brings to the teams. And then lastly, we have some really exciting news. I think it's really exciting. You can disagree, but be sure you do it in the comments down below because engagement is key. Thank you so much. So, lastly, we have found out that the Vancouver Golden Eyes have a home all of their own, and that is in the Pacific Coliseum. So, years and years and years ago, when it opened in 1968, it was the home of the NHL Canucks. However, they have long since left. It also hosted ice skating competitions during the 2010 Olympics there in Vancouver. But recent years, it has not been used much. But now, since the PWHL is there, this is their home and they are the primary team or the primary tenant, meaning that they're the only PWHL team whose building is decked out with GoldenEye stuff. Like everywhere you look, it's GoldenEye sign. We have the players on column wraps everywhere because they are the focus. You know how like when you go to Capital One and the focus is, well, sometimes Alex Ovechkin, most of the time right now, it's him.
Oh, it's because the Wizards
this is
are
it
shit,
for them.
so.
Yeah, it is sometimes Wizard shit. But this is going to be permanently. This is the Vancouver Golden Eyes place. You know what I mean? So it is dedicated to them. It's not a rink that they just show up at. Sometimes this will be their home stadium for every single home game that they get, which is pretty spectacular, seeing as again it is the Pacific Coliseum, which is an iconic site there in Vancouver. So talks began a year ago, which is crazy that they were able to turn that around. And so they're going to have their first ever game. Have they already had it? No. I think they're still yet to have it.
You know what though? That's super cool because
Isn't it?
they're reusing the building, which is one of the biggest controversies about anything the Olympics does, is
Yeah.
they have these buildings that get built and then not utilized forever and they just rot. Also, there's history in there because that's where, like you said, that's where the Canucks started.
From
Yeah.
1970 to 1995, it hosted.
They played there.
It was the home of the Vancouver Canucks.
You know, so
Yeah.
so there's a lot of extensive hockey history in that building, and for them to be there and that be their home, like that's an honor, that's a privilege. That must feel so cool to get to kind of like bring hockey permanently back to
Yeah.
that venue, you know?
And I was wrong. They have had their first ever game, as that being their primary home. And game one for them was a record-setting sellout of 14,958 tickets,
which is
insane.
Not
Insane.
only is it great for the idea that they're reusing a building, think of it this way. We've got a couple teams that don't play in NHL arenas, right? There's a few, there's a couple of them. Not only is this the only PWHL team to have their own completely exclusive arena, but it is by far the biggest that you could find. I mean, the Tsonga Center where the Boston Fleet play, that's essentially UMass Lowell's Stadium. 6,000. Right. The TD Place Arena for Ottawa Charge, we've talked about how small that is. This is this is an NHL purpose-built arena that now only hosts a PWHL team. That is insane. Like that is big for women's sports in general.
Yeah. It's huge.
And the fact massive. That 14,000 plus sold that bitch out first fucking game.
Almost 15. Like they were, what, 42 seats away from 15,000?
Imagine the impact that that's going to show. Be like, I wonder if we get profitable enough, can we just have our own stadiums? Like the New York Sirens. Yeah. There's a completely unused arena right now in Long Island. Just Nassau Coliseum, another iconic fucking arena.
Right. As we look at, expansions too, this shows other cities like we should put in a bid.
Yeah.
I mean, again, to bring Atlanta back into the conversation for the millionth fucking time, they have space there that they could utilize.
The Toyota Center is already set up for it.
Exactly. So it's like you have proven numbers that people will come out to the Pacific Coliseum, which was a little dated. They modernized it. They spent some money to do that, to bring it up to better standards. I still think that they have room to grow, but that's the cool thing about this, right? Now that they're getting nearly 15,000 butts in seats, they're also getting the money to help them do
Farm
it.
Arena,
and the sky's the limit.
Yep. Very, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think this is amazing. And I mean, again, you could think about now how many old arenas
Yeah.
that were housing NHL teams that are actually still standing that can be used for something, you know?
And think of it too in the terms of, these arenas which were a little bit defunct, run down, now are getting new life. So
Yeah.
when other community use needs it, they'll have a safe arena that is modernized, that makes kids feel like, they can accomplish their dreams. They get to play
Yep.
here, as a kid, and then maybe one day as an adult. This is a dream builder for sure.
Oh, yeah,
And I'm so
absolutely.
happy for the PWHL to have made a move like this and to have it already be so successful.
Yeah, big time, big time.
Definitely excited to see what the next big move is for the PWHL, since they are making historic
Mhm.
advances in the league and cementing them as why they needed to be here. And I'm glad, and I mean, we all are, that
Yeah.
in the 2 years they've been around, that they're popping off as hard as they are.
Well,
Yes.
and it was like I was telling you guys before we started recording. I've been playing NHL 26 recently, just getting a feel for it. And not last year they introduced PWHL mode, which is
Yeah.
just a season mode of the game, but with the PWHL teams. This year
Mhm.
they have the same thing, but there's just a little bit more that you can do with it,
Yeah.
and I like that. I like that we're heading towards what I ultimately want is the option to create, like, you have the option between male and female characters, yes.
Mhm.
But I'd love the option for there to be, oh, you create the male character, you can play in the NHL. You
Yeah.
create the female character if you want to play in the NHL, you can, but also have the PWHL as an option. And for someone like me who loves the like GM modes and
The franchise
franchise
modes, yeah.
mode, give me that option for a PWHL so I can do drafts and all that stuff. I think
That'd
that'd
be
be
sick.
awesome. So, Flow
I don't think
Games.
we're far from it, though. I really
Honestly, I
don't.
don't either. It's probably around the corner.
Which would be exciting, because I don't think that there is a lot of predominant female representation in EA sports games.
Just FIFA.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, when they had the rights to the NBA games, there was absolutely WNBA presence, but the only one that is continuously doing that now, that's been doing it for at least 10 years, is EA with EAFC,
Yeah.
formerly FIFA. Because there's a
So,
lot,
Yeah.
they have dozens of women's leagues across the world, plus national leagues. So I think that's cool.
right,
Also,
which is
EA
fantastic.
bring back SSX.
And also bring back college
Give us
basketball. Come on, the fuck are we
Dude,
doing?
yeah.
SSX Tricky was my shit back
It
in the
was
day.
so my shit.
Oh, game
Yeah.
is
That
so
had
much
great
fun.
female representation too. The female characters were
Hell
it
The
yeah,
was
shit, yeah.
Zoe was my first ever love.
I loved the shit out of Elise.
Yeah.
She's a Canadian mall, just like you.
Ooh, well, uh, it's not fair to her to put her in the same bucket as me, but well, speaking of buckets, you know what goes in buckets? Water. You know what water can be used for? Ice. And we have an
Flawless
update.
transition.
Thanks. And we have an update on the ice for the Olympic rink. And if we're gonna have if the NHL players are gonna be allowed to go play in the Olympics. So the NHL is cautiously optimistic, and I use that very vaguely, cautiously, that
Mhm.
player participation in the Olympic Winter Games in Milano, Cortina 2026 will happen as planned, despite ongoing construction and various ice concerns at Sankandula Ice Hockey Arena. I don't know. I'm not
Santa
Italian.
Julia.
It
Julia.
is what it is. I'm not Italian. I'm going to leave it at that. Um, this is the main rink for men and women's ice hockey tournaments. The NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly said on Monday, so yesterday, time of recording, I am getting positive reports about what they're going to do and what the next plan is and what the next day is, what it looks like now, how the parties are reacting, etc., etc. Daly said following day one of the NHL Board of Governors meetings here, today was a fairly positive day. He provided that the Board of Governors an update on the status of the venue, including ice dimensions and ice conditions. He confirmed that the dimensions of the rink will be smaller than the NHL regulation size, which is 200 feet long and 85 feet wide. The rink in Milan is instead going to be approximately 197 feet in length, so 3 feet shorter. The
They rounded up on
NHL.
that, by the way. In the article, they rounded up. It's
it's
actually 186.4 or something like
100
that.
They rounded from
So it's
186.4 to 197.
sorry,
I was like,
196.4.
damn, that's
Okay,
a
I was
hell
gonna
of a
say,
round
no,
up.
I was like,
that's a fuck up on my part.
I was like,
196.4. So
yeah, okay.
it's
It's
three
about
and
three
a
and a
half
half feet.
feet shorter.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say, shit, can I see that
That
ruler?
half a
Because
foot
I have some
matters,
use
let me
for
tell
it.
you.
Yeah.
Whole
I'm
10 feet
I'm
bigger.
I'm 5'2", but really I'm 6'6", you know.
Listen, that is the way that men measure. Let's be real.
Oh, no, it's remotes. Anyway, the NHL's agreement and the International Ice Olympic Committee and the International Ice Hockey Federation to send NHL players to the Olympics for the first time since 2014 specified the ice surface be an NHL regulation. I just want to talk. I don't think that this is a fair thing. I think that this is kind of dumb because only 32 teams in the world play to NHL specifications.
And now there's more counting all the various leagues that are attached to the NHL. But I see what you're saying.
But
And considering
but
the
by
NHL
going in with
dimensions
like,
are different than other international leagues who go based off of what international rules are, which those rinks are bigger.
yeah,
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it seems like we're better than you, so
do it our way or you're not going to get our talent, which I think is kind of arrogant as an
but
approach to this.
on the
I
same
feel it's kind
side
of
of
arrogant.
things, the NHL is the premier hockey league in the world.
Mhm.
It is the top of the top. Everything is the best it can be in terms of statistical like dynamics, just hospitality, ice playing surface, like everything is the top that it can be, or at least the top that it is, compared to other
Well,
leagues like the KHL and like those leagues, you know, the Swiss league, stuff like that.
okay, well, fair, but I'm pretty sure other bigger organizations like FIFA, I don't think that they care or have that much of a pull when they have players go to play on pitches around the world.
Oh, they
But
absolutely
there's a
do.
difference. And there's
100%
also a
do.
You
difference in
cannot
here.
tell me that they're about to host it at Gillette Stadium and want a certain type of grass to be put in there on that turf.
Oh, they
No, that
100%
is
do.
FIFA regulated already because Gillette Stadium hosts a Major League Soccer team.
But
I'm curious. I'm gonna
even
check this one.
even without it, Maul, it would impact it because on a soccer field, you're barreling towards each other at the fastest you can run on dry land.
Yeah.
On ice, very different.
Yeah.
So that extra 4 feet of stopping time does make a difference in an ice rink when you can skate. How fast is the fastest skater right now
I
on in hockey?
McDavid, I want to say it's like maybe I don't actually know, but I
It's
believe it's McDavid.
fast as fuck, boy. That's how fast that they can skate. And so then you have to add in time to stop, which like you can stop fairly quickly, right? Like, but still you need room to. And so it
24.6
does make a
miles an hour.
difference. There you go.
So about 23,
So
24
about
miles an hour.
Okay,
yeah.
so I guess they do require, but it's one of
They
those things
because of
where
the
it's
safety
like,
precautions. That's why it matters here. Whereas it wouldn't matter as much if they shrunk 4 feet off of a FIFA field. They would still be pissed about it, number one. But number two, it wouldn't be a safety concern.
But I
well,
do
right, but
see what
that's,
you're saying. It does sound very pretentious to say it
It
that way.
does. Yeah.
I mean, and that's just how I kind of took it, going
Yeah.
reviewing this article is like, it's kind of like, oh, well, if you're not gonna do it our way, you can kiss our ass with our players. Like, really? Like, I don't know. But the IIHF was under the impression that they had different interpretation of what the NHL ice meant than we would have, Daly said. Even at the site visit, I'm not sure it was anything than predictable to anyone. It's not like people bring tape measures there, so for whatever reason, It came back the way it came back. Here's my thoughts on that. And I don't want to go too much more into this because it looks like we're going to get hockey in the Olympics, and that's kind of cool. You're at new construction and someone doesn't have a fucking tape measure there when the IIHF is there for a review. They're like, you're fine. We don't need a tape measure.
That's on
Well, I
the
think
IIHF.
I don't think it's as much as like when you're walking it, you're like, damn, this place is huge. The site looks great. You're not actually walking it with a tape measure as the NHL to assume it meets specifications because you are assuming, and we all know the phrase about assuming an ass and all that.
Right.
You're assuming that the IIHF has measured it. So you're not going to be like, hi, I'm Bill Daly here to walk the site. Can you give me a tape measure so I can measure out 100 or 200 feet?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, weird that we stopped short. That's not what's happening. They're walking it to see, like, how is it coming along? Are you going to be done in time? That
Which
kind of
is
stuff. So,
Which
Again.
is true, but having worked at large events where things have to be built quickly,
mhm.
like the one I was at last month, when people show up that are important, like Bill Daly
Oh, yeah.
or the IIHF, and they're looking for stuff like that, like they want it to be done. So
Yes.
for him to be like, oh, it's not like there was a tape measure to this. Like, dude, someone there had something that you could have measured it with.
Yeah.
But again, it's not the end of the world.
The one thing I don't like here is that essentially the IIHF is being held directly responsible for this when they are indirectly responsible because they are not in charge of building this arena. This all
Mhm.
falls back on the planning committee
Yeah.
put forth by the International Olympics Committee.
The IOC should definitely be held more responsible than IIHF.
The
I don't
the
know who
IOC is in
given,
charge of the Olympics. This is their fault for hiring the people
but
that they did and not only not meeting with the IIHF but not meeting with the NHL to make sure these schematics and specifications and blueprints are put together before they even start building the fucking stadium.
And that's the thing, though, is like, haven't they been through this a few hundred
well,
times?
the thing is that, and I don't know the full scope of it, but according to the background, he said that the IIHF has the authority to make a final decision about the tournament, which to me assumes that the IOC gave the IIHF like supervision power in the building of this, which is probably what they do for each sport, is that each sport's like national or like governing body
Yeah.
for the sport itself is the one that handles any disputes about eligibility, any,
Which is a cover
venue
your own
things.
ass type thing.
Which it
for
is a
them.
cover your own ass type thing, but that means that the IIHF does have some responsibility. If they were given control over the situation,
Yeah.
then they do have a role to play.
Yeah.
I think it should be on both of them because at the end of the day, this looks bad on the Olympics overall because nobody's gonna like your casual viewers and your casual Olympics viewers who just are tuning in to see people beat the shit out of each other on ice or what have you. They're not going to be mad at the IIHF. They don't know that the IIHF exists. They're going to be mad at the IOC.
Yeah.
When our players aren't competing and suddenly you have not to say that it'll be lackluster because all of the players for all other countries suck ass. However, most people dream of being in the NHL for a reason. You know what I mean?
But
And
there's
those
so
that
many
don't make
countries
it often don't
represented
make it
in the NHL.
for a reason. Yeah.
And so Daly also said that it was a structural issue.
hmm
And it makes it impossible for the Olympic organizers to correct the ice dimensions at this time. But he said, having said that, both we and the NHL Players Association have made the IIHF very aware that when we participate in the Olympics in 2030, we expect it to be the NHL ice surface. So they're making it really, really known, like this is going to be a one-off. You got to get your shit together, or we're not going to have it.
And essentially, this answers our original question, right? Which has been, what is the NHL going to do? Because
Now
they had every right to pull out of this knowing that this shit was like this. They had every right to go, well, we're done. This was your shot to give us a reason to come back, and now we don't want any part of this. But it's very clear that they're looking at this, go, all right, you know what? We'll give you the benefit of the doubt this time. But next time,
Yeah.
it
And
better
they
be what we
are-
expect.
They are actively working together. Daly also said that they've offered and are utilizing our ICE experts and technicians and outside providers. We're basically moving everybody there to try and get this done in a way that is acceptable for NHL athletes. So the NHL is spending resources to help the IIHF get it done in time. Because I'm not sure if it's in this article. It is that they're expecting it to be completed by February 2nd. And the first event is the women's tournament on February 5th, which is leaving them with 3 days
Yeah.
to like make sure that the facility is
Ready to go.
properly equipped.
That's another
And ready
league.
to go.
Speaking of leagues that play on NHL surfaces, I mean,
Mhm.
almost every team plays at an NHL arena, the PWHL. So like,
Yep.
you've got these women that are also going to be feeling probably the same effect. A good amount of them are going to be feeling the same effect to what the NHL players are going to feel with a totally different ice surface.
Now they did
But-
say that they have taken the sorry, real quick. They've taken the 3.5 feet out of the neutral zone, so that way the space behind the nets and everything like that will still
That's
be to NHL standards. So from
smart.
blue line to the boards will still be the same distance NHL wise. So they've just taken it out of the neutral zone, which is
I
the
think that
only
that's the
option
best place.
available.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you can't take it out of
Um,
anywhere else.
But Daly did confirm why they're so adamant that they will be back in 2030. And he said that because the Olympic rink that they're going to be using is going to be the same as the rink, the Avicii Arena in Stockholm, which is where the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Nashville Predators played last month at the NHL Global Series Sweden.
Yes.
So
So it's
they
already
already
done.
have it figured out. They already are working on it. So I think that that's good that they kind of learn from this, and
And
hopefully we
that
get more
arena
professional
also
players in the NHL
that
or
arena also
Olympics.
hosts a professional hockey team.
Yeah.
So in the Swedish league. So they don't need to do anything other than build the rink
Mhm.
because everything's already set for that arena to host that. So that'll be the
Yep.
easiest situation. Hockey is not really a big sport in Italy. So having to build an
Sure.
a specific purposed ice rink
Mhm.
is
Yeah. I just hope that, like I said earlier, this venue doesn't become a blemish on the Olympic issue of
Yeah.
building these massive facilities and buildings and leaving them to rot. I
Mhm.
hope that this does encourage hockey to become a more popular sport in Italy and give them a place where they can play and learn and enjoy the sport like so many people around the world. And with that being said, we've talked enough about the IIHF. D, do you have more news from them?
I sure do. So as we alluded to earlier, the IIHF has put out their 7 Hall of Fame classmates for 2026. That includes Florence Schelling. She started her international career in 2004 at the age of 15, and by the time she retired 15 years later, she had played more games of the Women's World Championship, more minutes, and won more games than any other goalie in history. We also have Cassie Campbell Pascal, who, oh, and I should say, whoop, she is Austrian? No, she's Swiss. Sorry.
she's Swiss. I
She
was say
is
Florence
Swiss.
Schelling is Swiss.
Yes, she is Swiss. Cassie Campbell Pascal is Canadian. She is a big name. She's so much a part of the game that she is a rare one-name player in Canada. Everyone knows who Sid and Mario are. Gordy, Wayne, and Bobby need no last name. And so it is with Cassie. There is only one. From the time she began her international career in 1994 at 20 up to today, she has been an integral part of hockey as the first player in women's hockey, and then first as a player, and then later in the NHL and the PWHL. She's captained for Canada for 2 Olympics and 2 Women's Worlds. She's won 10 medals, including 8 gold, and did so in a manner that has never been done before or since. She spent half her career as a defender and half as a forward, which is also kind of rare to see as well. And now she is special advisor to the PWHL. Then we have Austrian player Thomas Vanek, who has had a long, long history of hockey in Austria. He is the 4th Austrian inducted into the IIHF Hall of Fame and 2nd player after Sepp Puschnig, sorry, He moved to Canada at 14 to develop his game, and he played for the University of Minnesota in NCAA hockey, where he led the Golden Gophers to a national championship and was named MVP of the Frozen Four. He joined the Buffalo Sabres in the fall of 2005 and started what would be the greatest career by an Austrian. 25 goals as a rookie, his first of 10 straight seasons with 20 or more. Twice he's had 40 goals, twice 30, playing 1,029 games over 14 seasons, most of which were in Buffalo. He also was the first Austrian to wear the C for an NHL team. Very, very cool.
I have a Thomas Vanek Buffalo Sabres beanie somewhere that my buddy got
Oh,
me.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. We also have Andres Amboul from Switzerland. He retired last year, but the historical committee took the unusual step to waive the 2-year waiting period for a player so richly deserving of honor. Amboul has played more World Championship games than any player in the nearly 100-year history of play at 151 games. His 20 WM tournaments, so world medal tournaments, is also a record that might as well last in perpetuity. A steady two-way forward, he was part of Switzerland's only medal at the U18 Worlds, a silver in 2001, and he later played on 3 of the team's 4 silver medal winning teams at the World Championships since 2013. Another name that we all should recognize, Patrice Bergeron, also a Canadian player. He was the Triple Gold Club member number 25, but even before he became a TGC member, he made IIHF history. He's the only player to win World Championships gold before winning World Junior Championships gold, a feat he accomplished in 2004 at the end of his NHL rookie season, and 2005 during the NHL lockout. So a very strange situation there. He's won 2 Olympic golds, as well as a championship at the 2016 World Cup. Most of his appearances for Team Canada also came alongside Sidney Crosby. Rarely have 2 Canadians had such perfect chemistry on ice, and as a pair, they were instrumental in the aforementioned wins of 2005, 2006, 2010, 2014, and 2016. He mostly played with the Boston Bruins, where he played his 19-year career, 1,294 games. Nicholas Kronwall of Sweden is the next player to be honored. He was a defender and a member of the Triple Gold Club. He is number 20, having won Olympic gold in 2006, World Championship gold also in 2006, and the Stanley Cup with the Detroit Red Wings in 2008. Not the biggest blue liner, he has nevertheless packed a punch when he hit an opponent, which led to the phrase being Kronwalled. He played his entire 15-year career with the Red Wings, retiring in 2019. Ralph Kruger, who has played for Canada, Switzerland, and Germany, or who not played, but, well, he did play. Anyway, we'll get into it. Between 1998 and 2010, Coach Kruger had an immense impact on the Swiss national team. Between 63 and 97, the Swiss played in the World Championship A pool only 6 times in 35 years, but under Kruger, they remained in the top every year and continued to do so after his departure. In 1998, newly promoted Switzerland finished 4th, losing the bronze medal game to the ascendant Czechs, and matched their best finish in the last 45 years. In all, Kruger coached the national team and 3 Olympics, departing after the 2010 Olympics. The team was always competitive, but most important, it believed it belonged at the top and played with a confidence infused in them by Kruger. So he is nominated as a builder. And those are our, did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Those are our 2026 IIHF Hall of Fame players.
Hell yeah.
So a round of applause.
That's a
lot of like royalty there, huh?
Well, think about the names that are recognizable for our generation. I mean, Nick Kronwall was a monster in Detroit. I watched the Ducks players be on a lot of the receiving ends of getting Kronwalled. I mean,
Patrice Bergeron.
Bergey's career speaks for itself.
He was part of the last Stanley Cup for the Bruins.
I mean, Thomas Vanek, like, again, this is a who's who of players, which, again, I love seeing that, for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, we like to round things out and share the love with everyone. Chris, what do you got for us, buddy?
Well, the longtime respected GM throughout the NHL, Ray Shero, was remembered and honored at the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame ceremony when he was posthumously awarded the Lester Patrick Award. You want to talk about the doing things and being the important person. He is so unbelievably respected in the eyes of everyone in the sport. I mean, former GM of the Pittsburgh Penguins, former GM of the New Jersey Devils, Um, I mean, he kind of did everything. You think about the teams that were assembled when he became the GM in 2006 with the Penguins, brought that city a Stanley Cup. Obviously, the builds, the drafting of players like Jack Hughes. Um, it's unbelievable career, and he passed away unfortunately in April of this year. But to get awarded something that big, you know, he was in 2021 ended up as a member of management for the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota Wild GM Bill Guerin was asked about him, and he said, "Always looking for a laugh like that, uh, always looking to have fun and looking to make sure those around him were doing the same." He was so much more than just stats and win-loss records. He meant so much to the game. Um, that's what an amazing award. What an amazing honor to still be remembered, um, in the biggest way possible in the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame.
That's cool. I love stories like
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. That'll be cool to see.
Now, I have a question for you all.
Okay.
This might be a little bit of an offside opinion, but let me know what you think. With the annual roster freezes coming up on the 19th of December, what do you guys think we will see for major trades to happen before the holidays? Or are we going to be on a short run until the Olympics?
Well, I've heard a few names being tossed around. Um, one really big one and a few small ones.
hmm
Uh, I guess not really small, but I've heard rumors that Jordan Binnington's name has been tossed around a little bit. Um, I have also heard Cody Glass's name get tossed around a little bit. But the big one is Quinn Hughes,
Yeah.
because I don't know if you guys know this, but the Canucks suck, and I'm sure Quinn would probably
Yeah.
rather be anywhere else. Um,
Like Calgary.
Or
no,
with his brothers, perhaps.
yeah, that's the biggest
Calgary.
question.
Not Calgary.
There's also been talks of him going to a place like Detroit, who could honestly use the help right now. Um, I mean, I've heard a few, but I don't know. Is the thing? It's like
hmm
if it would really depend on the teams that need the
Yeah.
help, right? The teams that are looking to rebuild. Obviously, Vancouver is absolutely one of them. I've heard a few names in Nashville that might be on the chopping block soon, but it's like, do you want to get that move out of the way now type deal? Because we're what, 70 something days away from the Olympic break, if not less.
Yeah. Well, so think about it. I think the teams that are going to try to make the biggest trades are going to be the teams that aren't performing, because they're
Teams that have
going
nothing
to
to
try to,
lose.
right, because they're going to try to give up as much as they can for a last ditch effort, because we're what, 20 games, I mean, we're almost at the midway point of the season. We're 20 games away, you know?
Yeah,
And that's a scary place to be, like in last place right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you need to do something to completely stir the pot, flip your roster, do something. I think we're going to see the teams that are on the bottom 10 try to make some power moves and get rid of potentially good players, or good players on their teams, to other to make some movement. I think that's what we're going to see. And then you're going to see the teams that are on the other end of the spectrum. They're going to be like, nah, we clearly, like Colorado. They're like, well, why would we do anything? We're fine.
Or Anaheim, who is at the top of the Pacific Division.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
So it's
like,
like,
Naysayer Chris, who said we're going to lose again this season. I've accepted loss and defeat in my life.
hey, listen, I get it. All right, I get it.
I mean, I
I
have to
get
bring it
it.
up.
Hey, D,
Yeah?
I get
Okay. I'll bring it up next week though, just to be doubly sure.
Oh my God. I know after we got our shit pushed in 7-0, then a couple days later did that to the fucking Blackhawks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm watching this game. Looks like the Blackhawks showing up tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that.
But that's
I
what I
mean-
feel. I feel like you're gonna see the teams that are doing good, they're not gonna do much because they don't there's nothing
Yep.
they need to do. And then the teams that are at the bottom of the barrel are gonna try to figure out what the hell they gotta do.
Here's another question.
Uh-huh.
Do you see there being a top team that has surplus that might be early sellers to a team like the Flyers or a team
Mhm.
like the Maple Leafs, teams that are kind of in the hunt still,
Mm-hmm.
that are looking for that piece, looking for that extra to get them over the hump? Or, do you see those big teams be buyers from teams like the Predators, teams like the Sabres, for players that they're just offloading cap to get players that are just only going to make them better?
I say yes. I mean, so like a team like the Colorado Avalanche, which we talked about on the weekend whistle, they have what? 4 players that haven't hit double digits for scores yet this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have plenty of talent and they can clearly see where their talent is. If they have one of those bottom performing players that aren't performing as good as like some of the top players on the team, yeah, why keep that salary cap when you could trade it to someone who's desperate for someone who can get goals?
Get a pick or something out of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna
Exactly.
see the illustrious future considerations rear their ugly ass head.
Oh,
Yes.
I think absolutely. Absolutely,
I-
we're gonna see that.
I do think that you may see that with some of the top contending teams be like, well, we know who our stars are and we know who are good, but they're kind of wasting our money.
Yeah.
yeah. And I
Here you
mean,
go.
with Logan Cooley out now, I mean, think about Utah. If
Yeah.
if Logan's out for a long period of time, Utah might be like, hey, we're willing to sacrifice a draft pick for a guy to try to replace his, performance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we have a
Steve?
few people who are out for a long time who I think we're gonna see their teams try and replace because
The Panthers.
there's no guarantee that you're gonna get them back.
Yeah.
I mean, when's Kachuk supposed to be back? He hasn't played a single game yet
Which
this season,
one,
has he?
Brady or Matthew?
Yeah, true. I was talking about the
Matthew
Panthers.
supposedly is supposed to be back by the beginning of the year. I don't know what's going on with Brady. Brady's either in the
Yeah.
lineup or not in the lineup very frequently. So it's like kind of
They
a
gotta get their
question.
shit together because they were in the commercial for the Olympics and they're on the team, so
Commercial
they
was
gotta
so
get their
great.
shit
Are they
figured
on the
out.
team yet? We still haven't had the
didn't they
teams fully announced.
No, didn't they confirm the roster with them on?
It's a confirmed.
They did confirm a few of them, but
Yeah, but I imagine they'll probably be.
I think we're going to see a flurry of trades happen for sure, and especially I don't know if we get it ahead of the holiday season, but I think in the run to the Olympics, absolutely, because the rosters are only frozen from the 19th to the 26th or something like that, or the 27th. And it's just for the purpose of not having to move an entire family during Christmas, which big ups to the NHL for always doing that. Yeah, I think though we will see it ahead of the break for the Olympics because that is immediately coming back from the Olympics, you're in buckle down territory. So you're not trying to make big moves unless you are one of those teams that is on the bubble of being a wild card spot and you have to make a big move to, potentially get what you want. But at that point, they're not buying, your primo on the market, right? They're buying whatever people are willing to sell off for scraps, which may or may not benefit you. It just depends on what kind of position you're in. You know what I mean? So I think that we don't see it between now and the 19th, which is 10 days from now as of time of recording. I think we see it on the return. So I think once we hit like New Year's Eve, it's going to be trade city for a little bit as people try and buckle down ahead of the very long break for the Olympics.
And think about it this way. When it comes to what you just said is perfect. Looking difference between market value and not market value, those top players, if there's a wild card team that's like, hey, this guy produces a good amount, this is what we assume his value is, It's less of a this is his value and more of, how much is it? How much you got? Type situation.
Right.
It's like, oh, you want this player? Oh, forget about
You get 'em
market
now.
value. This is supply and demand. You want this, I
Yeah.
have this. This is what you're going to give me to get this.
Yep.
Which is shady
Cool.
as fuck, but it's like it's business. If you're going to give up
It is.
something, you got to get something in return, especially in this league where we are looking at inches. It is a
Mhm.
complete game of inches. Right now, we have a 4-way tie in the fucking wild card just to get in. So
Yeah, they
it's
all have
like
33 points. Like they're right friggin' there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I do agree 100%. I think we'll probably wait before, or we won't see anything in the next 2 weeks. But come February, come late January,
Mhm.
yeah, see teams that are pretty fucking desperate to get back into the playoffs, take a big swing, and go, here's all my picks.
Yeah.
You want
Give me-
first rounders? Here's 7 of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give me
Absolutely.
someone good.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Let us know in the
What do you guys
comments what you
think?
guys think.
Yeah, exactly. Dude,
Like-
crazy. We're on the same
Yeah.
thing.
Brainwave, yeah, same that
There's
single
that
brain
single
cell.
that single shared brain cell. What do you guys know? What do you guys think in the comments down below? Please let us know. Also, while you're down there on your way scrolling past it, hit the like and subscribe button. Ring the
Yeah.
bell to know when we go live. We post 2 full-length videos and like 17 shorts a week.
Mhm.
We're pretty
Across all the
fucking
platforms.
active. Yeah, we're pretty
Yeah.
active.
Yeah,
And you can find us on
we're
Spotify. Shout out to our Spotify listeners. Y'all are the real ones. Shout out our Spotify listeners.
yeah. Who now get to watch and listen at the same time. Magic.
True.
Whoa.
Magic in the air.
D, what do you have for Hurt Boys and Bad Boys this week?
Well, we do have a naughty boy. It was announced literally like 5 minutes before we jumped on the call
Perfect.
that Bobby McCann of the Toronto Maple Leafs has been suspended for 1 game for high sticking Oliver Bjorkstrand. He will forfeit $7,031.25 due to that suspension. It was a high stick, pretty blatant. He got a match penalty, I'm pretty sure, or I'm sorry, a game misconduct, and so he was done. He was going to get called in. 1 game suspension seems about right.
Yeah.
I will note, I know you boys talked about it on the weekend whistle. There were no penalties to Jacob Trouba for the hit against the young Ryan Leonard. I was a little bit disappointed in that, if I'm honest. You guys did say that, from some angles it looked better or worse as to, the placement of whether or not head was the primary point of contact, but it was a major point of contact. And that with the way he was coming around, he was already engaged with another player, which to me puts you in a vulnerable spot. Maybe you shouldn't be throwing that hit. I think that we have seen Tom Wilson be fined and suspended for his history. And they have actually come out and said that the Department of Player Safety had said due to this player's prior record, we have decided that we are going to either up the fine or assess a fine when we normally would not. And so I kind of think that due to Jacob Trouba's past history, maybe it would have been fair to do the same here. I think if you're going to start levying that against people as a way to keep them under your thumb, so to speak, then you actually have to utilize that tool. Unfortunately, as we'll talk about in a second, Ryan Leonard is out for quite a while. He was in fact injured, and that not from a concussion. He is in a sling currently. So sometimes that is the unfortunate outcome of a hockey hit. I just think that as we are having conversations about what hockey hits should look like, as we learn more about the outcomes of those kinds of hits, maybe we should have a conversation about hitting a defenseless player as they are engaged with one of your opponents.
Yeah, and I mean,
Could
I
be a
definitely
conversation.
on the weekend whistle brought up the history of Trouba. Like I've said,
Mhm.
this is the first scenario of anything negative since he's been with Anaheim, but we all
Yes.
absolutely know his track record in New York. Like this is not the first time we've had an incident, and you and I talked briefly the night that happened.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to hear your opinion on that tonight because I don't think we're all far off. Like We want the
Right.
protection of the players, and it was an unfortunate situation. Even during the game, I was shocked that he didn't get a penalty. I was like, I don't know about this one.
My thing is, and it's what I've always said, is consistency. Like, people love to shit on the Caps organization for employing Tom Wilson. And I understand that because he has done some dirty ass shit in the past. He has cleaned up his game though. So he has earned, like, he has been in less than 5 fights for the last couple of seasons when he used to get into 10 fights a season. His penalty numbers have gone down overall. Like, he has not been anywhere close to getting fined or suspended for injuring people. The most recent one was a high sticking incident, which was bad and he should have gotten shit for. Like, I'm not going to argue that otherwise. Like, that is what it is. I just think that when you have Dops singling out a player like Tom Wilson and then not doing the same for a player like Jacob Trouba, who has the same history, we kind of have to have a problem there because it needs to be consistent. Otherwise, it's a conversation of favoritism, and that should not exist in professional sports if the ultimate goal is player safety.
Right. No, I totally agree.
No, absolutely.
So,
and that's a player on my team. So if that tells you anything, I'm the least bit. Oh well, he plays for my team, and he's no. It honestly, let's be real here. That
and I'm not even saying that he should have been suspended necessarily, but I think that there should have been
some
a fine.
sort of disciplinary action. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think a fine would have been appropriate here.
Yeah.
Well,
again, just to send the message.
He did draw blood, so that does have its own.
He did draw blood.
The rule book, you know, so
and
I feel
the
like
player
there
was
should
out for the
be
rest of the
that.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a weird circumstance, and I think, like we had said, it was like Leonard was paying attention to something else, and it at one point it kind of looked like Trouba wasn't prepared for him to not like slow down a little bit. It was a weird hit, and I was just like, I agree with you though. I wish some sort of consistency, at least like a hearing, been like Department of Player Safety, bring him in and be like, hey, what the fuck, bro? At the very least, a hearing.
I definitely don't feel like the hit would have been as hard if his eyes were forward.
Yeah,
you know,
probably he would have seen it.
Because he literally was looking backwards to pass the puck, and he got hit as he was looking forward. You know, so
yeah, he just didn't know the hit was coming, which it does make him defenseless. But yeah, it probably would have been less. But that is unfortunately not when it ended up happening. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So, all right. So we do have some injury updates. So let me run through this. Henry Yokiharu for Boston is out undisclosed until December 20th. Michael Callahan, lower body issue, out until December 14th. Charlie McAvoy has a face issue, is what it says. And he is out until December 14th as well. Lastly, we have David Pastrnak, who is out day to day.
Damn, Boston, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. In Buffalo, which, by the way, I should say, nothing new in Anaheim. Y'all already know who is injured, so I'm not going to give you that update. In Buffalo, the only new injury we have is Jason Zucker, out with a lower body injury until December 18th. In Calgary, we have Jake Bean, undisclosed, day-to-day. Martin Papasil, undisclosed, out until December 27th, so quite a long absence for Martin. Nobody new in Carolina. Nobody new in Chicago. Nobody new in Colorado. In Columbus, we have Matthew Olivier, who is out with an upper body issue until December 22nd. Eric Goodbranson, out with that hip injury until December 13th. In Dallas, we have Thomas Harley, lower body injury, expected back December 11th. Ilya Labushkin, out with another lower body issue until December 15th. Kyle McDonald, knee injury, out until January 1st. Adam Earn, lower body injury, out until December 21st. Leon Bichel, out with a lower body injury until January 27th. A very extended injury for him as well. Tyler Seguin, I always want to say it like penguin. I know that's not right. Sagan. It's Sagan. Every time I say it more like penguin, though. Sorry, Tyler. He's out with a knee injury until December 27th. In Detroit, Mason Appleton is out with a lower body injury until December 13th. In Edmonton, we have Jake Wallman, out undisclosed until December 27th. Noah Philp, out upper body injury until December 16th. Connor Clattenburg, out with an eye injury, unfortunately, until December 13th. We have nobody new in Florida. We have nobody new in Los Angeles. In Minnesota, unfortunately, Danger's favorites, Matt Zuccarello and Jake Middleton, are out undisclosed day to day. In Montreal, we have nobody new. In Nashville, we have Nicholas Perbix out with an upper body injury day to day. Justin Barron out lower body until December 15th. Ozzy Weisblatt is out with an upper body injury, expected back February 26th. Again, another extended injury for Nashville. In New Jersey, we have Zach McEwen out with the lower body injury until December 30th. For the New York Islanders, we have Jonathan Drouin, who has a back injury, is out day to day. The New York Rangers have Adam Edstrom out with a lower body injury day to day. In Ottawa, we'll be missing Lars Eller day to day, undisclosed. Shane Pinto is out until December 20th with a lower body injury. Thomas Chabot is out with an upper body injury until at least December 15th. In Philadelphia, Cam York is their sole newbie, added to the list with an upper body injury until December 11th is his expected return. In Pittsburgh, Blake Lizotte is out with an upper body injury until December 15th. Harrison Brunicki is out, and it's not injury related, and he will be out until January 8th. Evgeny Malkin is out with an upper body injury and expected to be back December 13th. We have nobody new in San Jose. For Seattle, we have Berkeley Catton, who is out with an upper body injury until December 22nd. In St. Louis, we've talked about it, but Alexei Toropchenko is out with a leg injury until December 15th. Jordan Kyrou is out day to day with a lower body injury. In Tampa Bay, Dominic James is out undisclosed, and Curtis Douglas also undisclosed day to day. Ryan McDonough is undisclosed until December 11th. Andrei Vasilevsky also undisclosed until December 11th. Eric Cernak out undisclosed until December 15th. I guess Tampa Bay just does not want to disclose.
Just fucking falling apart.
Just
What
yeah,
you guys got hiding down
they
there?
really are. Yeah. In Toronto, Dakota Mermis is out with a lower body injury day to day. Anthony Stolarz out upper body injury until December 30th. Marshall Rafai out with a wrist injury until December 11th. And unfortunately, Joseph Wall out with a lower body injury until December 13th. But that's a quick turnaround. We're mere days away from his return, hopefully. Fingers crossed for Maul.
Come on, Hildeby. Hold us over, buddy.
Yeah. In Utah, we have just a few people out. Logan Cooley is out with a lower body injury until December 21st. And then 2 players are out until December 29th, and that is Ali Mata and Yusul Valimaki. So that is it for Utah. In Vancouver, Elias Pettersson is out with an upper body injury day to day. Teddy Bluger and Guillaume Brisbois are out with lower body injuries until December 25th or December 27th. Thatcher Demko also out with a lower body injury until December 11th. In Vegas, Jakob Demek is out undisclosed until January 2nd, so a bit lengthy there. Colton Sissons is out with an illness day to day. Aiden Hill, lower body until December 27th. Jeremy Lauzon, undisclosed until December 20th. And William Carlson is out until December 13th. In Washington, we have John Carlson out with an upper body injury day to day. Charlie Lindgren, kills me. He is out with an upper body injury until at least December 11th. Hopefully he is back. We would love to see that. And then most unfortunately, Ryan Leonard out with an upper body injury. They're saying till at least December 21st. We will see if that remains the case. In Winnipeg, our last team, we have Hayden Fleury, who is out with a concussion until December 11th. That is our injury report, fellas.
Wow.
Damn.
What is Boston doing? And Tampa Bay. I feel like they have so many players out right now.
And
yeah, Tampa Bay really.
And Toronto,
chill.
I guess, as well.
Yeah, but like, what the fuck's going on? Because they're still both doing great. I don't understand. Like,
looks like we know which players are on the chop block for the trade.
the players that are hurt and ain't doing shit, but everyone else is working fine.
Well, thanks for all the information on the fine, and then everyone who's hurt, and hopefully we'll see them back and healthy and in time for the Olympics.
Fingers
all
crossed.
Right, I've been dying all episode to know the answer to this. Chris, what is our trivia answer? Well, the question first to remind us, and then what's the answer?
Well, are we just gonna forget about the most important segment of the episode?
You know, I saw that after and was like, you know what? Confidence. Confidence is key.
Yeah. It is. You're right.
Do you want the trivia question first, and then we'll do?
Yes. You know, if you're okay with it, because I know these are both
show.
your segments. I'm very excited to know.
Totally fine.
This, dude, you know how I love goalies. You got me all riled up on a week that I host about goalies.
Well, hey, that's fine. So the trivia question is: Which goaltender holds the record for most career shutouts in NHL history? And I gave you 4 options: Patrick Waugh, Dominic Hasek, Martin Brodeur, Ed Belfour.
All right, Maul, which one are you going with? You're going to stick with your...
Yep, Montan Rumbor. Going with C.
Okay.
Go with C.
Okay.
You want me to show the diploma that proves it works?
I'm going to say it's Hasek.
You
Dominic
say it's
Hasek.
Hasek?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, hold on.
All right, drum roll.
With the career
fault.
shutout number of 125 career shutouts, Martin Brodeur.
C never let you down.
You can never, ever go against Marty.
I mean, to be honest, I thought it was him, but I wanted to hedge my bets in case.
Dominic Hasek is a great fucking. It's great. Like,
Yeah.
Again, these are 4 of the best goalies ever.
You couldn't go wrong with any of the answers, except for the fact that you could literally be wrong because there is only one that has 125 shutouts.
You literally could
wild.
be wrong. Yeah, you could be wrong. And there's only one, and his name is Marty Brodeur.
Yeah.
Who's closest to him? Like, what's the number of shutouts that's closest to that? I'm just curious.
Let's find out.
Just kind of like sidebar.
So, Marty Brodeur has 125. Terry Sawchuk is the next closest with 103.
Wow.
On the list you gave me, Dominic Hasek is the next closest with 81.
Yeah.
Next closest out of the list, out of the 4.
And then if we keep going down, Patrick Waugh, 66. And Ed Belfour had 76.
So I have an honest... That's disgusting. I have an honest question.
What?
Do you think Alex Ovechkin will be able to beat that record in his career?
You know what?
I don't know if he knows how to play goalie, but
if we're talking about the number of games that he's been held off the score sheet, he's already beaten Martin Brodeur.
Yeah.
By a lot. I think Alex Ovechkin goes to the top. Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, you never know with Ovi.
I would love to see Ovi in goal, honestly.
It'll
never happen, but like I would love to see it.
How fucking crazy would that be? Gets a shutout, be like, oh shit, all right, I guess.
Like,
I'd say he gets in goal for his kids, but he knows too many like good goalies that live in the area that he could just call them up.
He plays in a team with a goaltender that he could call up and be like, hey, teach my kids.
Or like, I'm pretty sure Holtby is back in the DC area now, so why wouldn't you just call him up?
Because Braden fucking Holtby.
Yeah, Uncle Braden, come on over and play goalie against Ovi Jr. Why not?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Dude,
isn't that
absolutely
nuts?
Wild and crazy.
Yeah.
So, my bad for skipping this segment, but I was just so excited to learn who that was, and I'm glad we did push it. But Chris, who is the obscure NHL player of the week?
Well, as we get time for our obscure NHL player of the week. That's fitting because the Ducks are winning 2-1 right now over the Penguins. The 2 quacks is perfect. Our player is a man named Val James. Born on Valentine's Day, 1957 in Ocala, Florida. Okay. This left-handed left winger was drafted 184th overall in the 1977 draft by the Detroit Red Wings. Fun fact. We all know Willie O'Ree, right? First,
yes, we do.
First black player. But he's African-Canadian. Willie O'Ree is from Canada. Val James is the first African American to play in the NHL.
Very cool.
Which is awesome. Looking through his career, he played 11 games in the show, 7 of which with the Buffalo Sabres. The last 4 of his career were with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He had no goals, no assists, but he had 30 penalty minutes. That motherfucker let you know he was there. He did have quite the extensive AHL career, though. 416 games in the AHL, 14 goals, 20 assists. Buckle up. 740 penalty minutes.
Whoa.
Oh shit.
He played 56 postseason games. In the playoffs, 2 goals, 4 assists, 121 penalty minutes. This man was a fucking problem on the ice.
Wow.
And who was he a problem for? The other fucking team.
Yeah, right. Jesus. Well, and his team.
Well, and his team, but mostly the other team.
Yeah.
I listen, we love a good enforcer. We know this for sure. We love someone who is a fucking menace on the ice.
We sure do.
And that is absolutely what he did. I will say a little bit of things that have happened after retiring. James settled down in the Niagara region with his wife. His autobiography, Black Ice, The Val James Story, was released by ECW Press for a worldwide distribution in February 2015, coinciding with Black History Month, which is only fitting. I think that that's awesome that he got an autobiography. Congratulations on such an amazing milestone. Not many people can say that they played in the show, but you played in the show for 11 games, and that's more than any one of us here has. So, big love to Val James as our newest member of the Obscure NHL Player of the Week. Back to you, Mom.
Well, that's all we got for this wild and crazy episode. And another week's coming, another week's gone. Unbelievable how this season's playing out, and I don't think any of us have predicted it.
No, I think if we look back at our picks, a lot of us, we're all wrong, I think, on a good amount of teams so far.
I seem to remember Chris saying something about he was going to be in the basement again, but isn't your team number 1 in your division?
Yeah.
Couldn't have predicted it.
Jesus Christ. I'm just going to stop being a Ducks fan at this
You've
point.
gotten more hate for winning than you ever got for losing, by the way.
Oh, I know.
So with that, all of us here at Pucked Up want to say thank you for coming and checking out the episode. If you haven't already, like, comment, and follow, subscribe, do what you got to do on the platform that you're checking us out on. Also, check out the show that Chris and I do on Tuesdays, or it gets released on Mondays, called The Weekend Whistle. It's another cool, like, kind of weekend wrap up where we kind of
talk about the shit that doesn't get talked about here.
Yeah, and we're a little bit more wild and crazy.
It's essentially D and Danger saying, no, here, let the boys have their day. And that's that.
So, but thank you guys all for checking out the episode, hanging out with us, and continuing to support us. From all of us here at Pucked Up, we love you, and we will see you next week in the Face Off Circle.